today we are going to be taking a look at the Brother GX37 lightweight full-featured sewing machine. This is a very simple and a very easy machine to be using, and it's essential for any beginner who is just learning how to sew or just trying out sewing, and it's just a really great machine to be using. Now we are going to be taking a look at some of the basic features that this sewing machine has to offer. It has 37 built-in stitches, including a one-step auto-size buttonhole, and it also has a super bright LED lit work area for when you're sewing in darker places. It has upper thread tension control, and it has a free arm for sewing cuffs and sleeves. It has a jam-resistant quick-set drop-in top bobbin, and it has a reverse sewing lever. So you can see that this is just great for any beginner who's just trying out sewing or just learning how to sew. Now we're just going to get this out of the box. Right here I'm just getting my scissors and just unboxing this sewing machine and taking it out, just opening it right there, and after a bit of trying with my scissors, I finally got it out of the box. So I've opened the box now, and this is just a view of the top of it. There are a few things right there, and I'm just removing the top foam from it. So here's my Brother GX37 sewing machine. You can just see that it is covered in plastic. This is just a regular sight when you're just unboxing a brand new sewing machine. Here's the foot pedal, and I'm just gonna try removing all this plastic. So I'm just removing all the plastic wrapping from it and just trying to get it right off and out of the way. You can also see there's bits of blue tape. You'll also want to be removing those. And also any pieces of stray paper or cardboard that they might have just attached to the machine. So now I'm just gonna show you guys some of the paper materials that this sewing machine comes with. It comes with an operation manual, and this is a quick reference guide, and that it just shows you stuff about lower and upper threading. This is an instructional DVD, and this, you may not fully understand exactly what it is, but let me just unfold this for you. And if you're not sure exactly what this is, it's actually a cover for your machine. It's actually a very handy thing to have on hand, and it protects your machine while it's not in use. Here are some of the main accessories that come with the sewing machine. We have a presser foot here, and it has parts that you can plug into your electrical outlet and also your sewing machine. We have 2 packs of needles. One is regular, and one is a pack of twin needles. There are also 4 bobbins. 3 of them are shown here, but one of them is located on the machine. We also have a zigzag foot J, which is on the machine. We also have a buttonhole foot A, a zipper foot I, and a button sewing foot M. We also have right here a plastic white darning plate, and we also have an oval screwdriver. Here are some things that the manual called optional accessories or additional accessories. These you have, some of them, they just depending on the model, the model of the sewing machine that you may get, they give you certain accessories for certain models. So here we have an extra spool pin. We have a blind stitch foot, and we also have a narrow hemmer foot. Once again, these are special accessories, optional accessories, additional accessories that just depending on which model, which sewing machine you get, they just give you certain ones. so it only depends on the sewing machine. So now that we've finished the basic accessories, now we're gonna take a look at the very detailed features of this easy machine to use. And first we are going to start off with a bobbin winder. This helps you when you're putting thread onto a bobbin, or if you want to rethread a bobbin, and it winds the thread onto the bobbin for use as the lower thread. Here we have a stitch length dial, and you can rotate this to control your stitch length. We have a spool pin. This helps to hold your spool of thread in place. When you're using it, you just pull it right out. When not using it, you just push it right back in until you hear a click. And right here we have a stitch width dial, and you can control this. You can control the stitch width. There's also an upper tension control dial as well on the side. We also have a thread guide right up here, and you can put, when you're putting your thread there, it just helps to hold it in place when you're sewing. So you can just put it right through there and it just holds it in place. Right over here on the side, I'm just gonna turn the machine. This silvery thing right here, it's a thread take up lever, and this is also kind of like another thread guide. Once you put your thread through your first thread guide, you just bring it up and around, and this just helps to hold it in place so you don't have any problems while working on your project. So here I'm just going to show you something right down here. This right here is a thread cutter. Now this you don't want to play around with because this is very sharp. It's like a blade that's just kind of like sticking like just right there, hidden on the side of this. So you really don't want to play around with that. So it just helps you when you're done sewing a straight line, that then you bring up your thread and you just cut it right there. You don't want to cut yourself on something like your thread cutter. So now continuing, we have a needle threader right here. This is only available on certain models, and once again, a lot of things here, you're just going to be seeing that it's only available on certain models. Just like the GX37 here, this is a, right here, this is a quick set bobbin. And once again, this is also available only on certain models. So once again, it just depends on what sewing machine you get, that only certain things will be available. So here we also have a flatbed attachment right here. You can see this little arrow and you can just slide it right out. It's very handy. It's very helpful for storing extra materials that you just don't want to lose, and you want to still keep them close to you. You can just use that as a storage compartment. And also it helps you, like if you're sewing sleeves or making hems on something, it helps you to loosen up the space and you have more space to sew. Here we also have our presser foot here, and there's also a lever in the back that you can just use to be bringing it, that presser foot up and down. The presser foot is a very ideal part of your sewing machine, and it's something you always need to be using when you're sewing. Here we have our reverse sewing lever, and you're just going to push this lever just to stitch in the reverse direction. Moving on, now we are on our pattern selection dial, and you can just rotate this dial in either direction just to choose what stitch you want. Here on the GX37, there are 37 different kinds of stitches that you can choose from. So you're just gonna find the stitch you want on the list of stitches, and you're just gonna turn it to the number of what stitch you want to use. So now I'm just gonna turn this around so we can move on to some of the other details here. Right here on the very side, this is called the hand wheel, and this is just used to manually raise and lower your needle. So I'm just going to turn this around so you can get a better view of it. So when you need to move your needle up and down, you just take that hand wheel and you can just move it forward and back, but generally you're supposed to be moving it forward towards you just to move it up or down. So I'm just going to turn that back around. Now we're going to look at the buttonhole fine adjustment screw, and I'm not going to go too deep into this. Once you get your machine in the manual, they're going to talk more about this to you. And here on the bottom, at the very side of this, this is the main power and sewing light switch. You can just turn the main power and the sewing light switch on and off. Like I said, you can turn this on and off, and also you can just plug in your pedal and your plug just to attach it to your outlet. So moving on even further, over here we have our presser foot lever. Once again, like I told you a little earlier, this is used to move your presser foot on your Brother GX37. You can use it to just move it up and down. And right here on the very side, we have a buttonhole lever, and you can lower the buttonhole lever when sewing buttonholes. So thank you for joining me in this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helps you in making the right decision on buying a Brother GX37. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also check out my Etsy shop at Lil Chick Creations. Once again, this machine is such an easy machine to use for any beginner who's just starting to learn how to sew. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!